Good afternoon, Canadians. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Parmesan. And what we have witnessed from the Carney Liberals can be described as nothing more than a blatant subversion of democracy. Just days into his reign, the Carney Liberals have announced that they will not be providing a 2025 fiscal budget. No fiscal plan, no transparency, no accountability. And why? Why, he's obviously avoiding a confidence vote that will topple his extremely fragile majority government. This isn't leadership, it's cowardice. And Carney knows that his globalist agenda, tax cuts for show, billions in spending, won't survive a confidence vote. By hiding behind a vague economic statement and a rushed tax notion, he is sidestepping the will of the people. Canadians deserve a government that faces the house, not one that slinks away from it. Here I have for you the announcement by the man himself, Mr. Champagne.
The Canadian government priority, and there will be a fall economic statement to follow. So those are really the sequence that you're going to see. Tax cut for the middle class, we're going to be introducing a Ways and Means motions as we enter back into Parliament. We'll table legislation. Then there'll be a throne speech, and then we'll present a fall economic statement. No budget.
The hypocrisy that spews out of that guy's mouth is nothing less than just straight frustration. I, folks, am not the only one feeling frustrated, as Pierre Poilievre makes a statement on X. And I have it right here for you, folks. During last month's federal election, one of Mark Carney's most common slogans was "A plan beats no plan." Conservatives wholeheartedly agree. That's why it is so unacceptable that today Carney confirmed that he, in fact, has no plan and the government will not table a budget. As Canadian families struggle with rising costs and businesses face crushing weight of American tariffs, the Liberal government is walking away from their responsibilities. After months of building expectations and promising serious leadership, Carney announced he will deliver nothing. Canadians were told that Mark Carney, the supposed serious economist, would bring competence and clarity. Instead, we're getting delays and dysfunction. Parliament has already been shut down for nearly half a year now. Now, in the face of serious economic threats, the Liberals don't intend to present a budget this year. There is no roadmap forward, no economic vision, and no willingness to lead. This is not the leadership Mark Carney promised. It's abandonment. Canadians deserve more. They deserve a government that shows up when it matters most, especially when paychecks are at risk and businesses are struggling to stay afloat. The failure to table a budget in this moment is not just an oversight, it's betrayal of workers and families across the country who expected this government to lay out its plan. Common sense conservatives are standing up for Canadians who can't afford more liberal neglect. We are demanding a plan to protect jobs, defend Canadian industries, and secure our economic future from foreign threats. While others disappear when things get tough, conservatives are ready with real leadership and a real plan that puts Canadians first. What a epic post by none other than our man Pierre. And that's not all, folks, because today Pierre spoke with reporters outside of the Parliament building. Let's see what he has to say. See it.
Pierre! That's the kind of intricate, hard work that we have to do as parliamentarians to protect our economy, and that takes a plan. A plan to reverse the Liberal housing crisis, a plan to reverse the Liberal inflation crisis, a plan to reverse the Liberal jobs and economic growth crisis, a plan to stand up against American tariffs. And that plan always comes in the form of a budget. A budget determines and informs Canadians of the size of the debt and the deficit, of the future interest rate and inflation costs, of the tax policies that determine whether companies hire or fire employees, of the laws that allow us to or block us from building major infrastructure projects that will create jobs and make us more independent from the Americans who are threatening us with tariffs. Now, Mr. Carney said during the election campaign that he had a plan. And he took great delight in saying that a slogan is not a plan. Well, a budget is a plan. And if he does indeed have a plan, if he does know what he's doing, then he would introduce a budget so that Canadians know exactly what the finances are. We were very disappointed yesterday to hear that he has no budget plan for this year. This makes it the longest period without a budget since the 60s, the first time there has not been a budget outside of COVID in over 20 years. Extremely unusual. It'll send a bad signal to investors and ratings agencies, and a lot of people will wonder what the Liberal government is hiding about our finances. And so we're here with solutions. I'm proposing offering the Prime Minister to sit down with him and propose conservative solutions that we hope that he will steal. I want him to steal our best ideas. That includes cutting the bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and other wasteful spending to bring down deficits, inflation, and taxes. We want...
Now, do you guys think Carney's going to take him up on his plan there? Comment down below.
A real income tax cut that rewards hard work. Axes the
like
federal
real
sales
income
tax on new homes to promote more building and lower costs.
Just so folks know, okay, to cut income tax, you'll never see a significant increase on income tax, okay? To put it like this, the Liberals cut the income tax by just over $1 a day, like literally $1.03 a day. But Poilievre's tax cuts are like $3.10 a day. So it's 3 times as much, but still like only $3. My car's about to get paid off, and that's going to save me $7,500 a year. So let's see some of those savings, government.
And stand up against American tariffs with lower taxes on Canadian investment and by repealing all of the anti-energy policies like C-69, C-48, the energy cap, the electric vehicle mandate, and unleashing our resources so that we can become the richest country in the world. Now, these are ideas that Conservatives are putting forward, but I'm happy to bring them right to the Prime Minister's desk and invite him to steal them and put them right in his platform. And if he does, then we will help get those passed before Canada Day. So let's work together, let's have a real plan, a real budget, and let's bring it home. Thank you very much.
So what do you guys think about that? Offering Mark Carney to his face to sit down with him and let him steal all the Conservatives' things. That's funny. That's funny. Offer him a deal that he just can refuse. So he does refuse it and looks terrible. Mark Carney was going to survive this confidence vote. It's weird that they avoided it, because I feel like the Carney voters and the on the fencers would not like a confidence motion right now. I feel like if Mark Carney tabled a budget, and failed a confidence vote, we went to an election, I think he might be on board with the majority. Because I think people just aren't okay with that. But now he might come back and fall, and I think people are going to be more okay with the Liberals failing the confidence vote because he did this. But watch him subvert the confidence vote yet again in October. And what we have for you next, folks, we're going to dive into the comment section and see what X users are saying about Mark Carney's subversion of democracy. Pierre Poilievre. In 2 days, Mark Carney appoints a housing minister who nearly tripled the housing costs as Vancouver mayor. Mark Carney announces he will not introduce any budgets this year. And Mark Carney's minister, Guilbeault, says no to any new pipelines. The last 2 days look an awful lot like the last 10 years. Warren Kinsella, responding to Mark Carney here, Mark Carney says Canada's new cabinet met for the first time this morning one of our first orders of business, a tax cut for the middle class. Starting July 1st, hard-working Canadians will be able to keep $1 a day more. Warren Kinsella says, "This is theater. This is not how laws are passed in Canada. We are not the United States, and this must stop." Guys, Warren Kinsella is a liberal. I got like no useful fucking comments about this. Vote Sabine says, "It works for Afghanistan. Taliban rule, no transparent budgeting. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, budget details classified. Syria, Bashar al-Assad, opaque financial reporting. Venezuela, under Nicolas Maduro, no public budget since 2016. Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, minimal public financial disclosure. Canada, liberal rule, no transparent budgeting." You know what's funny is Canada's always been right up there with Iraq and Afghanistan. And we gotta move on, folks, because I have a special, very special segment for you guys today in today's top story. So, folks, on today's top story, I have for you a very, very special interview from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, everybody. We have Franco Terrazzano. Franco, how are you doing, buddy? Let's just get right into the interview, okay? Franco, is it true that Carney has a major fear of tables?
The Carney government just said that it's not going to be tabling a budget this year.
Wow, I really hope he can work that out. It must be so horrible working in an environment surrounded by so many tables. So what are we looking at in terms of credibility, Franco? A large hole, a dent, or...
I mean, first of all, this decision alone is a huge crack in Carney's credibility.
Whoa, that's a little offensive. Give the guy a break. He's never been a politician before.
Look, how can you have any credibility on fiscal responsibility if you can't even put together a budget plan?
But he's afraid of tables. Maybe if you knew that he helped build Hogwarts. Did you know that he helped build Hogwarts?
How can you even be a financial wizard if you can't even put together a budget? A huge credibility issue here if the government doesn't bring forward a budget.
Yeah, I guess you're right on that one. Should Canadians be worried here?
Look, like, Canadians have every reason to be worried about the state of our national finances, right? The government is more than $1 trillion in debt. The government doubled the debt in less than a decade. The government has been running deficits in the tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah, but surely it's only uphill from here, right?
Every single year. In Carney's platform, he plans to add another $225 billion to the debt over the next 4 years.
So what is the picture going to look like for you moving forward?
Present a budget. So here's the thing, folks. Canadians deserve a budget. The Carney government must come out with a budget this year, okay? That is end of story, simple as that. And here's the thing. With this decision of the Carney government not presenting a budget, well, that is a huge crack in the government's credibility. Folks, we're going to fight this hard to make sure that the government is transparent with you and presents a budget plan.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much, Franco, from the Canadian Taxpayer Federation, everybody. This is where you go to get whatever kind of interview that was, okay? Folks, that is all I have for you today. So, if you like the show, please like and subscribe down below. And what do you think is Carney's real problem? Is he afraid of tables? Leave a comment down below. Guys, I'm your host, Parmesan. And this is Niagara Due North. Have a good day.